Hello everyone and welcome to the channel Her Side. I am 65 years old and I went to the city to live with my son for my retirement. Every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, he would take a shower. One time, my curiosity got the better of me and I peeked. The scene in the bathroom terrified me so much that I moved into a retirement community the very next day. If you've ever felt that deep ache of betrayal in your own family, or if my story touches something in you, subscribe to the channel so you can hear more like this. You're not alone, and staying with me means we'll face these truths together. In the quiet suburb where I'd spent most of my life, the crisp autumn air whispered through the leaves, carrying a hint of the coming winter chill that always made me pull my sweater a little tighter. My name is Vivian, and at 65, I had just retired from my long career as a librarian in the local public library, surrounded by the comforting smell of old books and the soft hum of pages turning. This cozy bungalow had been my home for over 40 years, from the days of raising my son as a single mother after my husband's early death, to now, when the empty rooms echoed with memories. On the shelf in the living room, a framed photo of my late husband remained, his smile frozen in time, but looking at it no longer brought the warmth it once did. Instead, it reminded me of the quiet endurance I'd learned early on. He had been a stern man, quick to anger and slow to apologize, leaving behind a trail of emotional bruises that shaped how I raised our boy. When he passed from a sudden heart attack back in 1992, I felt a mix of grief and relief, though I never admitted the latter to anyone. I channeled everything into my son, Alex, working double shifts at the library and taking on freelance editing jobs to put him through college. It was just the two of us against the world, and I poured every ounce of love and guidance into making sure he wouldn't repeat the patterns I'd endured. From the start, Alex was sharp and ambitious, with a drive that reminded me of his father, but I hoped the positive side would win out. He had that spark in his eyes during high school debates, always arguing his point with passion. But there were flashes of impatience, moments when his voice would rise too quickly over small disagreements, and I'd feel a shadow of old fears creep in. I did my best to teach him empathy, to listen more than he spoke, drawing from books on parenting and my own hard-won lessons. In the end, he made me proud. He graduated top of his class from a state university in 2005, landed a position at a tech firm in the city, and climbed the ranks to become a senior project lead by age 35. He even met a wonderful woman, Sophia, during a company event. Sweet, artistic, with a laugh that lit up rooms. I thought my worries were behind me, that retirement would mean quiet days volunteering at the library and tending my herb garden. But fate had other plans. It was a Thursday afternoon in mid-October 2023, and I was knee-deep in weeding the backyard when my phone buzzed on the patio table. The caller ID showed Alex's name, and I wiped my hands on my jeans before answering. "Hey, Mom, how's the garden treating you?" His voice was casual, but there was that underlying edge, like he was leading up to something. "Just fine, dear. The basil is thriving this year. What's on your mind?" I replied, sensing the shift. "Mom, Sophia and I have been talking. It's time you came to live with us in the city. I'll drive down this weekend to help you pack." My stomach dropped. The city? Leaving my little haven? The place where every corner held a piece of my history? It felt like ripping out roots. "Oh, Alex, that's sweet, but I'm happy here. I have my routines, my friends at the library. I wouldn't want to impose on you two." I tried to keep my tone light, but my heart raced. "Come on, Mom, you're not imposing. Your family. What if something happens out there alone? No one's around to check on you. We already got the guest room set up at our place on Elm Street, Unit 1204. It's got a view of the park." His words were firm, echoing the authoritative tone his father used to have. I hesitated, picturing the isolation of a big city high-rise versus the warmth of family duty. Sophia got on the line then, her voice soft and reassuring. "Hi, Mom. Please say yes. It'll be good for all of us. I can help you settle in, maybe even show you around the art galleries. Alex worries about you constantly." Her kindness melted some of my resistance, though I detected a subtle strain, like she was reading from a script. After a long pause, I sighed. All right, if it's what you both want, but just for a trial, okay? Wonderful! See you this weekend. And the call ended. Standing there in my garden, the phone still warm in my hand, I felt a mix of dread and reluctant hope. Over the next few days, I packed sparingly: a suitcase of clothes, my favorite novels, a small potted rosemary plant as a touch of home. Flipping through old photo albums, I lingered on pictures of Alex as a boy, his gap-toothed grin at a school play in 1998, and it softened me. Maybe this was his way of showing he cared. I said goodbye to my neighbors over coffee, their well wishes masking my own unease. One said, "You're so lucky, Vivian, your son taking you in like that." I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. That Saturday, Alex arrived in his sleek silver SUV, looking every bit the successful professional in his button-down shirt and slacks. He loaded my things with efficient energy, chatting about his latest project at work. Sophia was there too, her warm hug easing the moment. "Mom, we got you some things," Alex said, pulling out bags from a pharmacy chain. "Vitamins, a blood pressure cuff from Omron, priced at $89.99 on the receipt," I glanced. "Can't have you skimping on health now."
You didn't have to spend all that, I protested mildly, touched despite myself. The drive to the city was a blur of highways and growing skyscrapers, the air thickening with urban hum. Their apartment building at 1024 Elm Street was modern, with a doorman and elevator that whisked us to the 12th floor. The place was spacious, all clean lines and neutral tones, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a leafy park. Alex showed me to the guest room, now mine, with a queen bed, fresh linens, and even a small desk for my reading. "If you need anything, just ask Sophia. She's got it all under control." Sophia helped unpack, her movements graceful but hurried, her smile polite. I noticed how she glanced at Alex when he entered the room, a flicker of something, tension, in her posture. Dinner that first night was a spread of roasted chicken and vegetables, my favorites. "Eat up, Mom. You look like you could use some meat on those bones," Alex said, piling my plate high. When Sophia hesitated, he added sharply, "Sophia, get Mom some more water. Don't just sit there." She jumped slightly, fetching it with a quick, "Of course," her hands steady, but her eyes downcast. I pretended not to see, focusing on the food, but a knot formed in my stomach. Alex dominated the conversation, boasting about closing a $250,000 deal at work, his voice full of that self-assured pride. Sophia and I nodded along, the meal stretching into an awkward silence afterward. That night, in the unfamiliar bed with its two crisp sheets, sleep evaded me. The city's distant sirens and traffic hummed through the walls, a far cry from my suburbs' quiet. I told myself it was just adjustment. Everything would settle. The first week passed in a haze of polite routines. Mornings, after Alex left for the office around 8:15 a.m., Sophia would suggest outings to the nearby market on Fifth Avenue. "What sounds good for dinner, Mom? I'll pick up fresh ingredients," she'd say, insisting on carrying the bags herself. She listened to my stories about library patrons and book clubs, her responses kind, but distracted. Once she even took me shopping at a boutique on Main Street, buying me a soft cardigan for $45. "It'll look great on you. Alex will love it," she said, but her enthusiasm felt forced. Alex was the picture of attentiveness in the evenings, stopping by my room post-work. "How's the pressure today, Mom? Remember, twice a day, morning and night, log it in this journal." He'd bought the cuff on October 14th, 2023, as per the receipt tucked in the box. Invoice number 4721, 89.99, October 14th, 2023. It was sweet, but his instructions carried a commanding edge, like he was managing a project. Still, I pushed down any unease, grateful for the care. But cracks began to show around the 2-week mark on October 28th, 2023. The city lights had dimmed, and I lay awake, the clock ticking past 2:45 a.m. Then, precisely at 3 o'clock, the sound started. A steady rush of water from the master bathroom adjacent to my room. It was odd, jarring in the dead of night. Who showers then? Maybe insomnia from work stress? I thought, but worry gnawed at me. The water ran for exactly 12 minutes before stopping, leaving the apartment silent again. I didn't sleep much after that. At breakfast the next morning, I broached it casually over coffee. Alex, everything okay? I heard the shower going around 3 a.m. last night. You feeling all right? He didn't look up from his tablet. Yeah, Mom, just unwinding from a tough deadline. The project's killing me. $500,000 at stake. A cold shower helps reset. It sounded plausible, but Sophia, pouring cereal, paused mid-motion, her spoon clinking oddly against the bowl. She recovered quickly. He's been swamped, Mom. Don't worry. We're fine. Her voice was too bright, her eyes avoiding mine. As a librarian who'd spent years reading faces in quiet moments, I knew evasion when I saw it. Something felt off, but I let it drop, sipping my coffee in silence. What if this wasn't just stress? The question lingered, a micro hook pulling me deeper into suspicion. 2 nights later, on October 30th, 2023, the sound returned at exactly 3 o'clock. Faucet twisting, water cascading. My pulse quickened. Once might be habit, but twice at the same hour? I lay there, ears straining, the rhythm mocking my growing dread. The next few nights blurred into a pattern, some silent, others marked by that eerie flow. Sleep fragmented, leaving me exhausted, my mind racing with unspoken fears. During the day, Alex seemed irritable, snapping at Sophia over minor things like the coffee temperature. Can't you get this right for once? He'd mutter, his tone cutting. She'd apologize softly, head bowed. I tried probing Sophia one afternoon while we folded laundry in the living room. You seem tired, dear. Is everything okay between you two? Alex isn't pressuring you too much? She startled, nearly dropping a shirt. No, Mom, really, just the usual newlywed adjustments. He's great, really. Her words rang hollow, her fingers twisting the fabric. The lies piled up, and those showers haunted me, stirring memories of my own past tensions. I couldn't ignore it anymore. One evening, after Sophia excused herself early, I cornered Alex in the kitchen. Son, we need to talk about those 3 a.m. showers. I've read it's risky, body temp drops, could lead to health issues like hypothermia or worse. Please, for your sake, stop. His face hardened instantly, eyes narrowing. Mom, you're retired now. Enjoy it. Stop sticking your nose into my routines. This is my home, my rules. He stormed off, the door to their bedroom clicking with finality. The rejection stung, chilling the air between us. From then on, he spoke to me in clipped sentences, avoiding eye contact, treating me like an unwelcome guest. The apartment felt heavier, the luxury facade cracking. My attention turned to Sophia, watching for signs. One Tuesday morning, November 2nd, as we prepared lunch, her sleeve rode up while reaching for a plate. There, on her forearm, was a fresh bruise. Purple fingerprints, unmistakable, dated by its color to maybe 48 hours old. My breath caught. Sophia, your arm, what happened? She yanked it down, face flushing. Oh, nothing, Mom. Bumped it on the counter yesterday evening around 7:30. Clumsy me. The excuse was flimsy. I'd seen enough in my life to recognize grip marks, the kind from a forceful hold. It mirrored shadows from my youth, when arguments left similar traces. I didn't push, just said gently, Be careful, dear. A woman has to watch out for herself. She nodded, fleeing to the sink, her shoulders tense. But the seed was planted, and my fears bloomed.
Days passed in tense reflection, the bruise fading, but my suspicions sharpening. On November 5th, I noticed her eyes puffy at breakfast, red-rimmed like she'd cried all night. Sophia, your eyes. Did you sleep okay? She blinked rapidly. Allergies, Mom. Must have rubbed them too hard after being outside on the balcony at midnight. On the 12th floor with sealed windows? The absurdity hit me, linking back to those showers. Memories flooded. After my husband's outbursts, he'd retreat to wash away the evidence, emerging composed. Was history repeating? The thought propelled me that night, November 7, when the water started at 3 a.m. sharp. Heart pounding, I slipped from bed, padding silently down the hall. The door was ajar, a sliver of light spilling out accompanied by muffled voices, a gasp, a low growl. Peeking through the crack, the scene froze me. Under the harsh fluorescent glow, Alex stood in damp pajamas, water streaming from the showerhead onto Sophia, who was also clothed, shivering, her nightgown clinging. He gripped her hair, yanking her head back into the icy spray. "You think you can question me like that? Ever again?" he hissed, his free hand delivering a sharp slap across her cheek, the crack echoing over the water. She whimpered, body sagging but held upright by his grasp, her face a mask of terror and cold. It was raw, undeniable. My son, the boy I'd nurtured, transformed into the monster I'd fled in my marriage. The world tilted, terror rooting me in place. Flashbacks assaulted me, my husband's rages in our old kitchen on Oak Lane, grabbing my wrist until it bruised, the helplessness of silence to protect young Alex. That same fear paralyzed me now. Run, don't intervene, or face the storm. I backed away, retreating to my room, curling under the covers as sobs racked me. The water continued its cruel symphony, a soundtrack to betrayal. I cried for Sophia, for my failure as a mother, for the cycle I'd unwittingly perpetuated. Hours later, it stopped, but sleep didn't come. Dawn brought clarity amid the pain. I couldn't stay, couldn't confront him without shattering everything, but leaving meant abandoning her too. The next morning, November 8th, over a strained breakfast, I announced it. "Alex, Sophia, I've decided to move to a retirement community. It's best for everyone." Alex's fork clattered. "What? Why? You have everything here. I'm your son." His voice rose, laced with indignation. "People will think I'm shirking my duty. I won't allow it." Sophia's eyes widened, pleading silently. "Mom, please, did we make you uncomfortable? Stay, we can fix it." But I held firm, citing the need for independence, the community's activities like gardening clubs and book discussions at Willow Retirement Village, 25 miles out, room booked for $2,800 monthly starting November 10th. Alex argued, his words selfish. "It'll make me look bad." But I didn't waver. "This is my choice, son, my life." He soaked into silence, and by noon, my bags were packed, the same sparse load from arrival. As the cab pulled away from 1204 Elm Street, I glanced back at the gleaming building, a symbol of false security. At Willow, life was serene. Morning yoga at 9 a.m., shared meals, friends like retired nurse Helen, who chatted about grandkids. But guilt festered. Nights replayed Sophia's drenched form, her whimpers. The peace was hollow, bought with silence. One crisp afternoon in the garden, Helen approached. "Vivian, you seem burdened. Want to talk?" Her warmth cracked my resolve. Over tea, I spilled it all. The move, the showers, the bruise, the peaking horror. She listened, then shared her own tale. Her daughter trapped in an abusive marriage to a charming executive. I ignored the signs at first, told her to endure for the family. But when I saw her spirit breaking, I pushed for divorce. It was hell. Threats, lawyers, but she got out in 2018 with support from a shelter on Pine Road. Evidence was key. Photos, recordings, witness statements. Her story mirrored mine, igniting a spark. "You have to help her, Vivian. You're not just her mother, you're a survivor. Give her the tools to fight." That night, resolve hardened. I contacted attorney Mr. Harlan, an old library patron specializing in family law. He outlined a plan: gather proof discreetly. A week later, November 15th, Sophia visited, basket of apples in hand, her makeup hiding a fresh mark on her temple. "Mom, I've missed you. Things are busy." We sat on a bench and I confronted gently. "Sophia, that mark, did you bump it again?" She crumbled, tears flowing. "I saw, Mom. Everything. I'm so sorry." Her confession poured out. Alex's rages over small things, like a late dinner on October 25th costing $150 in takeout he discarded, or work losses, like a $100,000 client on November 3rd. He quit her graphic design job pre-marriage in 2015, promising security, isolating her. He says I'll get nothing in divorce, no alimony, no assets. Our savings account shows $45,000, but he controls it. Threats kept her bound.
Leave and I'll ruin your family. I held her, sharing my past. I know the fear, child, but you're not alone. I've spoken to Mr. Harlan. We'll build a case. The plan? Record audio secretly. His taunts like, you're worthless, just like your lazy art. Timestamped November 18th, 9:42 p.m. Photos of bruises, emailed to a secure Gmail I set up, vivisupport2023@gmail.com. First one dated November 20th, showing a wrist mark from a grip at 11:15 p.m. Diary entries. He slapped me for forgetting his dry cleaning receipt, $22 bill from Elite Cleaners, November 22nd. Financial docs snuck in, bank statement revealing $180,000 in assets, mortgage on the apartment at $1,200 monthly. It was risky. She trembled relaying each piece, but hope flickered. By December 1, evidence mounted. Over 15 audio files, 8 photos, detailed logs. Mr. Harlan said it was solid for emotional and physical abuse claims. The climax loomed. She had to request divorce to provoke his reaction, capturing it. I'm terrified, Mom. He'll explode. We'll be ready. Call me immediately after. That evening, December 3rd, she texted, telling him now. Hours ticked by. At 10:17 p.m., her call came, frantic. Mom, I said it. He's raging. A scream, then Alex's voice. Who are you calling? You traitor? The line cut. I redialed frantically, heart and throat. 30 minutes later, Alex called from his phone. Mom, this is your fault. You've poisoned her against me. She's locked in now. No more visits from you. Stay in your little village. His tone was venomous. I'll make sure she regrets this. You both will.
Panic surged. I alerted Mr. Harlan and police at 10:50 p.m., citing unlawful restraint under case number DV8472. Officers arrived at the apartment by 11:20 p.m., extracting a battered Sophia, new bruises on her ribs. Documented at City Hospital ER on December 4, 4:15 a.m., with x-rays showing no fractures but contusions. She was placed in a safe house at Haven Shelter, 300 Oak Boulevard. The exposure ignited the battle. 2 days later, December 6, Alex stormed Willow Village, disheveled in his suit, eyes wild. Mom, how could you sabotage my marriage? I built that life. You're destroying it. I stood firm in the garden. Sabotage? You call beating your wife building a life? Keep her in line, you said once? That's not love, it's poison. He sneered, voice rising. Women like her need a firm hand, or they run wild. You should have taught her that, not filled her head with nonsense. This is family business. Stay out. His words echoed his father's misogyny, twisted deeper. I countered. Violence isn't strength, Alex. It's cowardice. Change, or lose everything. He laughed bitterly. Change? I provide. $300,000 salary last year. She owes me obedience. If you side with her, you're no mother of mine. I'll fight this divorce tooth and nail. Hire the best. Prove she's unstable. She'll get zilch, not a dime from our $250,000 joint account. He left fuming, but the war escalated. Court began December 15, 2023, at County's Family Court, case number FC3921. Alex's team from elite firm Blackwell & Associates attacked. Audios manipulated, photos staged, even faking a psych eval claiming Sophia's hysteria from a supposed bipolar diagnosis, dated November 28th, forged signature. Stalemate loomed. Sophia wavered in therapy sessions at the shelter, doubting amid threats of losing shared property, a cabin in the woods valued at $150,000. What if he wins, Mom? I'll be homeless. I reassured her, but anxiety gnawed. Then the turn. December 22, a call from Sophia, voice buoyant through tears. Mom, the building super. Their hallway camera at 1204 Elm caught it all on December 3. High-def footage of him dragging me out, slapping me, yelling threats at 10:05 p.m. Timestamped, irrefutable. The super recognized us from the lobby and handed it over. Electricity surged. Mr. Harlan submitted it December 23rd. The video was damning. Alex's face clear, his grip visible, slaps audible over "you'll pay for this betrayal." No denials possible. Public space, third-party evidence. His lawyers folded.
advising settlement to avoid criminal charges under Assault Statute 18 U.S.C. Section 13. Judgment came January 10, 2024. Divorce granted, Sophia awarded 50% assets, $125,000 in cash, half the apartment equity at $400,000 total value, plus $75,000 in damages for abuse. Therapy covered for 2 years. Alumni, $2,500 monthly for 5 years. She was free. In the epilogue of this nightmare, Sophia rebuilt. With her settlement, she bought a cozy 2-bedroom at 456 Maple Lane for $220,000, closing March 15, 2024, filling it with her artwork, vibrant abstracts symbolizing rebirth. No more cages, sunlight poured in. She picked me up for visits, her laugh genuine now. "Mom, you saved me," she'd say, hugging tight. One evening in April, over herbal tea from my rosemary plant, relocated to her windowsill, she beamed. "Good news, Mom, I'm pregnant, 5 months along. Found out February 20th at the clinic. A girl." Joy overwhelmed me. The barren label Alex hurled shattered. He reached out in May, remorseful calls. "Mom, I messed up. Let me make it right for the baby. I'll change, I swear." I blocked him after one reply. "The night you hurt her while she carried your child, you lost us. Seek help alone." Sophia echoed, scars too deep for forgiveness. Our bond deepened. She asked, "Mom, my parents are gone. Will you be my family officially? Adopt me so our daughter has 2 grandmas?" Tears fell. I'd lost a son but gained a daughter, a granddaughter due July 12th. I stayed at Willow for my independence, but her home was my haven, built on courage, not control. Life's storm passed, leaving peace earned through action. The rushing water that once drowned my fears now echoes as a distant memory, a symbol of the torrent I survived. If this story moved you, please comment below with your own experiences. You're not alone in this. And if you want to hear more stories like mine, subscribe to the channel and stay with me for the next one.